Juliet sat before her ring light, smile frozen like painted glass. Her phone buzzed with another message, final notice, rent overdue. But on camera, she laughed sweetly, showing off borrowed designer bags. Living my best life, Queens, she chirped to her 200,000 followers. The comments poured in like honey. Goals. We love you. Teach us. But behind the glow, Juliet's hands trembled. Her credit cards were maxed. Her fridge was empty. Every photo was a carefully constructed lie. That night, after uploading her perfect post, she stared at her reflection and whispered, "Who even are you anymore?" Outside her window, the city glittered with 1,000 other lies, each one fighting for attention. Tomorrow, she would smile again. Because stopping now meant admitting the truth, and the truth, she believed, would destroy everything she had built on sand. 5 years earlier, Juliet was nobody special. She served coffee in a small-town cafe, watching customers scroll through their phones, living lives that looked like magazine covers. Her own life was simple, a shared room, second-hand clothes, dreams too big for her wallet. One evening, she posted a photo of herself in her best dress, standing near a fancy hotel she could never afford to enter. She added filters until her skin glowed golden. Within hours, strangers flooded her comments, "You're stunning. Where is this? I want your life." Something shifted inside her that night. For the first time, people noticed her. They admired her. They wanted to be her. She posted again the next day, and the next, each photo more polished, more perfect, more false. The likes became her oxygen. And slowly, without realizing it, Juliet stopped being real. Then Lillian appeared like a ghost from her past. They had grown up together, two girls with nothing, dreaming of everything. But now Lillian had transformed into something unreachable: designer clothes, luxury trips, brand sponsorships worth thousands. "Juliet. Look at you, still here," Lillian said, her smile sharp as broken glass. Juliet felt something ugly twist inside her chest. Envy, hot and bitter, filled her throat. That night, she stalked Lillian's profile for hours. Every photo was perfection. Every caption was confidence. "If she can do it, so can I," Juliet whispered to her cracked phone screen. She began planning her first fake luxury trip, using borrowed items and clever angles. She would catch up. She would surpass her. She would prove she was just as worthy of admiration. The competition had begun, though only one of them knew it yet. A marketing agent named Mr. Collins found her through her growing profile. His message was simple: "I can make you famous." They met at an expensive cafe Juliet couldn't afford. He wore gold rings and spoke with the confidence of someone who sold dreams for a living. "Nobody checks what's real anymore," he explained, stirring his coffee slowly. "They only see what you show them. I have brands ready to work with influencers. You just need the right image." Juliet hesitated. "But I don't actually own those things in my photos." Mr. Collins smiled like he'd heard this confession 1,000 times. "Neither do half the people you follow. Welcome to the game." He slid a contract across the table. "Fake it until it becomes real." That evening, Juliet signed her name, feeling both excited and sick. Within 2 weeks, her follower count exploded. She hit 100,000 overnight. The trap had been set. Michael noticed her immediately when she walked into his cafe. Not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because her smile didn't reach her eyes. He was a quiet man who walked with coffee beans and listened more than he spoke. "You're Juliet, right? From the videos." She looked up, surprised anyone in this small place recognized her. "Yeah, that's me." Michael wiped down the counter. "I grew up here too. I remember when you used to laugh differently." His words landed strange and heavy. Juliet forced a bright smile. "Well, life changes. Success changes you. Michael handed her the coffee gently. Fame that cost your peace is too expensive. Trust me, I've seen it before. Juliet laughed, but something in his voice made her pause. She left quickly, but his words followed her home like shadows. That night, she almost deleted a fake post. Almost. But the fear of losing everything stopped her hand. Everything exploded after that. Juliet moved to the city, into an apartment she could barely afford but desperately needed for content. Brands sent her products daily: perfumes, clothes, makeup palettes. Her mother called, crying with pride. My daughter, the famous one. Photographers wanted her face. Event organizers invited her to exclusive parties. She was finally somebody. One afternoon, a young fan approached her at a mall. Excuse me, are you? The girl squinted, confused. You look different. Juliet's stomach dropped. It's just the lighting, she said quickly, walking away. That night, she stared at her photos versus her mirror. The difference was shocking. She had edited herself into a stranger. Her hands shook as she applied more makeup, trying to match the version of herself that didn't exist. The mirror offered no comfort. Only questions she wasn't ready to answer. Maintaining the lie became exhausting. Every photo required hours of editing. Every caption needed careful crafting. Juliet barely slept. Then Lillian struck. A video appeared, the truth about fake influencers. Lillian didn't name Juliet directly, but the hints were obvious. Screenshots showed Juliet's luxury apartment was actually a rented Airbnb. Her designer bags were high-quality fakes. Her international trips were local hotels with clever angles. The internet erupted. Juliet's biggest brand deal, a skincare company worth $50,000, sent a cold email: we've decided to go in a different direction. Her phone became a weapon, each notification a small death. Comments that once praised her now tore her apart: fraud. Liar. You disgust me. Juliet locked herself in her bathroom, sliding down against the door. The mirror above the sink reflected someone she no longer recognized. The cracks were showing, and she had no idea how to stop them from spreading. Desperation drove her to film an apology video. She sat before her camera, eyes red, voice shaking. I need to explain some things, she began, tears streaming. I've made mistakes. I've been living in a way that... She stopped. Her finger hovered over the upload button. If she posted this, everything would crumble. Her followers would leave. The brands would never return. Her mother's pride would turn to shame. Juliet stared at her tear-stained face on the screen. Then, trembling, she pressed delete. I'll fix this another way, she whispered to nobody. She posted instead a smiling selfie with the caption, haters will hate. I'm focusing on my blessings. But that night, Lillian posted again. This time with receipts, rental agreements, purchase records from cheap markets, metadata from edited photos. The evidence was undeniable. Juliet's empire, built on beautiful lies, began its final collapse. Juliet woke to a nightmare. Her phone was burning with notifications. #FakeJuliet was trending nationwide. Thousands of people were sharing Lillian's exposé, adding their own commentary, their own rage. News blogs picked up the story. Commentary channels made videos. Her face became a symbol of everything wrong with social media. Every sponsor vanished overnight. Her follower count dropped like a stone into dark water. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. A woman's voice, professional and cold. This is Media Truth Productions. We are making a documentary about influencer culture. We'd like your side of the story. Juliet's throat closed. My side. Everyone deserves to tell their truth, Miss Juliet. Even the villains. The line went dead. Juliet sat in her empty apartment, surrounded by borrowed luxury and broken dreams. Her entire life had become a public trial, and she was losing badly. The world wanted her confession. But was she ready to give it? Reality crashed down like a collapsed ceiling. Her landlord sent an eviction notice. The furniture she'd rented for content had to be returned. Her family's phone calls turned awkward and painful. "People are asking me questions," her mother said quietly. "They are laughing at us at the market." Juliet stopped leaving her apartment. She ordered food she couldn't afford and ate in darkness. The glamorous life she'd performed for strangers had become a prison of shame. Her reflection disgusted her. Every mirror seemed to mock her. This is what lies cost. Then her phone buzzed. A message from Michael. "I saw what happened. I'm not here to judge. But you still have time to tell the truth. Real truth heals. Lies only delay the pain." Juliet read it 17 times. Each word felt like a lifeline thrown to someone drowning. But grabbing it meant admitting she'd been sinking all along. She went home. Not to her apartment, but to the small town where she'd grown up, where people still knew her as the waitress with big dreams. Her little sister, Amora, 12 years old and wise beyond her years, found her crying in their old bedroom. "Why are you sad?" Amora asked. "Everyone's been mean to you online, but they don't know you." Juliet wiped her tears. "Maybe they're right. Maybe I deserve it." Amora pulled out her tablet and played an old video. Young Juliet, maybe 16, dancing in their backyard without makeup, laughing so hard she snorted. "This is my favorite video of you," Amora said softly. "You look so happy." Juliet watched herself, seeing a girl who loved life without performing it. When had she lost that girl? When had likes become more important than laughter? She cried until she had no tears left, mourning someone who had never actually died, just got buried under filters and lies. Mr. Collins called with a solution. "Listen, this happens. We rebrand. New name, new account, fresh start. I know people who can scrub your old identity from search engines. 6 months, you're someone else entirely." Juliet sat in her childhood bedroom, phone pressed to her ear. Someone else. Think of it as a second chance. Everyone deserves one. It was tempting. So tempting. Erase Juliet, become someone new, avoid the consequences. Start the game again, smarter this time. Her hand reached for paper to write down his instructions. Then she caught her reflection in the small mirror above her desk. A stranger stared back. "I don't even know her anymore," Juliet whispered. "What?" Mr. Collins asked. "I said no. I'm done running from myself." She hung up before he could respond. Her hands shook, but something inside her settled. She was tired of performing. Tired of hiding. Tired of being someone she wasn't. The only question now was, who was she really? Michael agreed to meet her at the cafe where he worked. Juliet walked in wearing no makeup, hair in a simple ponytail, looking more like herself than she had in years. He smiled gently. "You look different." "I feel different. Scared, but different." They sat in a corner booth. Michael told her about people he'd known who'd lived double lives and found peace only when they stopped pretending. "Truth is heavy," he said, "but lies are heavier." He slid a small notebook across the table. "Plain, brown, nothing special. Write the story you never posted. Not for followers. Just for you." Juliet held it like it might burn her. What if nobody cares about the real me? Then at least you care about yourself. That night, alone in her room, Juliet opened the notebook. Her hand trembled as she wrote, "My name is Juliet, and I've been lying to you. The words felt like breaking chains. She wrote for 3 days straight. Every fake trip. Every borrowed dress. Every edited photo that made her skin glow like she was made of light instead of flesh. She wrote about the sleepless nights maintaining the illusion. The credit card debt. The loneliness of being famous but not known. She wrote about her mother's genuine pride based on artificial success. About competing with Lillian instead of being happy for her. About forgetting how to laugh without performing joy. The notebook filled with truth like a confession box. When she finished, Juliet felt lighter and heavier at once. Lighter because the secrets were out, even if only on paper. Heavier because now she had to decide what to do with them. She could burn the notebook and continue pretending. Or she could do something terrifying. She could tell the world. Her camera sat on her desk, waiting. One final video. No filters. No script. Just truth. Her finger hovered over the record button. Before Juliet could decide, Lillian's word exploded. An investigation revealed she'd bought 60% of her followers. Her sponsorships were fake contracts she'd created herself. Her luxury lifestyle was rented and borrowed, just like Juliet's. The internet turned on her instantly. Hashtag Lillian Lie trended even harder than hashtag Fake Juliet. Lillian called Juliet at 2 a.m., sobbing. They are destroying me. They are saying horrible things. I can't breathe. Juliet should have felt satisfaction. Instead, she felt sad. Now you know how it feels. I'm sorry, Lillian cried. I exposed you because I was jealous. Your followers loved you more. Your engagement was real. I wanted to tear you down. They sat in silence, 2 girls who destroyed each other chasing the same empty dream. We were both faking it, Juliet said softly. Both drowning and pretending we could swim. Lillian's voice was small. What do we do now? Juliet looked at her notebook. Tell the truth. Juliet had 2 parts. Mr. Collins still offered his escape route, new name, clean slate, continue the performance with better tactics. Or she could press record and speak the truth she'd written in her notebook. The internet would mock her. Some would call it a pity play. Others might not believe her. She might lose everything and gain nothing. Her mother called. People are being cruel, Juliet. Maybe it's time to come home permanently. Forget this social media thing. Juliet looked at herself in the mirror. Really looked. No filters. No angles. Just a 23-year-old woman who'd been running from herself for so long she'd forgotten where she started. I need to do something first, Mama. She set up her camera. No ring light. No makeup. No script. Just her and the truth. Her hand shook as she pressed record. The red light blinked like a heartbeat. My name is Juliet, she began, voice cracking, and I lied to you. The video was raw. 15 minutes of unfiltered confession. Juliet explained everything, the borrowed luxury, the edited photos, the crushing pressure to maintain an image that never existed. She cried. She apologized not for getting caught, but for participating in a system that made people feel inadequate. I sold you a fantasy and called it my life. I made you feel less than while feeling empty myself. No background music. No clever editing. Just a girl, a camera, and the weight of accumulated lies being lifted. At the end, she said, this is my last video as that version of myself. I don't know who I'll be tomorrow, but at least it'll be real. Her finger hovered over the upload button. Terror gripped her. This would either destroy her completely or set her free. She closed her eyes and pressed upload. The video went live. Then silence. Waiting felt like drowning slowly in an ocean of judgment. The response was brutal at first. She's just seeking pity. Too late for apologies. Fake tears from a fake person. Juliet watched the comments flood in, each one a small cut. Her follower count dropped faster. Brands she'd never worked with blocked her. She sat in darkness, wondering if honesty had been the wrong choice after all. Then, buried in the hate, a small comment appeared, "Thank you for saying what we all feel. I've been faking my life too. This helped me." Juliet read it over and over. Then another, "My daughter watches influencers and hates herself. I'm going to show her this." And another, "I spent my rent money on clothes for photos. Your video made me realize I'm not alone." The tide was turning, slowly. Not everyone forgave her. Not everyone believed her. But some people, the ones who needed it most, understood. Truth, Juliet realized, doesn't need everyone. Just the right ones. Within days, something unexpected happened. Other influencers began posting their own confessions. A beauty guru admitted her natural skin was filters. A fitness coach revealed his transformation was angles and lighting. A travel blogger confessed most locations were local spots made to look exotic. They used hashtags, #RealNotPerfect, #TruthOverLikes, #MyLastLiveVideo. The movement spread like wildfire. News outlets covered it as the honesty trend. Psychologists praised it. Schools used the videos in classes about digital literacy. Juliet's confession video became the center of a conversation about authenticity versus performance. She didn't feel proud exactly. More like relieved. Relieved that her pain had purpose. That her mistakes might prevent someone else's. Michael texted her, "You started something important." Juliet replied, "I just stopped pretending." But the truth was bigger than that. She'd given permission for others to be imperfect. And permission, she learned, was powerful. Lillian posted her own confession video, apologizing publicly to Juliet. "I exposed you because I was jealous and scared. I'm sorry." The internet buzzed with drama, expecting a fight. Instead, Juliet responded with a live video where she forgave Lillian on camera. "We were both drowning. You just pushed me under first. But I understand why." They talked for an hour, two former rivals becoming honest about their shared struggle. The comment section transformed from a battlefield into a support group. People shared their own stories of competition, jealousy, and the exhausting performance of perfection. Juliet's confession video hit 10 million views. Not because it was polished or entertaining, but because it was painfully, beautifully real. For the first time in years, Juliet felt seen. Not as an image. Not as a brand. But as a human being who'd made mistakes and chosen to grow from them. The video became a mirror, and millions saw themselves in it. Juliet deleted her profiles. All of them. The announcement video was simple: "I'm choosing real life over performing life. Thank you for everything. Goodbye." Her mother hugged her tightly when she returned home. "You finally came home. Not just to this house, but to yourself." Juliet got her old job back at the cafe, working alongside Michael. Life became beautifully ordinary. Morning shift. Coffee smells. Customers who didn't recognize her. One day, Michael showed her an article, "Universities Study Viral Truth Video as Lesson in Digital Authenticity." Her confession was being discussed in psychology classes, media studies, communication courses. "You're teaching people," Michael said, "just differently than you planned." Juliet smiled, feeling something she hadn't in years: peace. Not the performed happiness of a perfect post. Not the hollow satisfaction of likes. Just quiet, steady peace. She still had debt to pay. Still had relationships to rebuild. But she was doing it as herself. And that, she realized, was the only success that mattered. Months later, a youth organization invited Juliet to speak at their annual conference. Share your story with young people struggling with social media pressure. Juliet's first instinct was to refuse. She wasn't an expert. She was just someone who'd failed publicly. But Michael encouraged her, "Your failure is your expertise. They need to hear from someone who survived the trap." The night before the event, Juliet found her old notebook. She read the first honest line she'd written, "My name is Juliet, and I've been lying to you." Those words had changed everything. At the venue, hundreds of teenagers filled the auditorium. Juliet stood backstage, hands shaking, wearing simple clothes, no makeup, looking like herself. "I can't do this," she whispered. An organizer smiled. "You already did the hard part. You told the truth. This is just sharing it again." Juliet took a deep breath. Her old self would have needed perfection. Her real self just needed courage. She walked on stage to polite applause. No grand entrance. No dramatic music. Just a young woman with a microphone and a story. "I used to fake my life for strangers," Juliet began, voice trembling. "I edited my photos until I didn't recognize myself. I borrowed things I couldn't afford. I performed happiness while drowning in debt and loneliness." The audience was silent, leaning forward. "I thought if I looked successful, I'd become successful. But I just became empty." She talked about the collapse, the exposure, the shame. Then about the choice to tell the truth. "It didn't fix everything. Some people still hate me. Some never believed my apology. But I got something back that's worth more than followers." She paused, tears in her eyes. "I got myself back." The applause was thunderous. Students lined up afterward, sharing their own struggles. Juliet listened to each one, offering not advice, but understanding. She'd found her purpose. Not in perfection. In truth. Juliet's confession video remained online, permanently pinned to a new profile she created. Not an influencer account. Just a simple page with one video and a description, "This is who I was, and who I became." She never posted again. Didn't need to. The video lived on its own, finding people who needed it. Comments continued for years. "Watching this in 2027, still relevant. This video saved me from making the same mistakes. Thank you for your honesty." Her channel became a monument to a specific moment when someone chose truth over image. Universities archived it. Documentaries referenced it. But Juliet herself moved on. She enrolled in school, studying psychology. Worked at the cafe. Dated Michael, slowly, honestly, without performing romance. Her mother would sometimes say, "People still talk about your video." Juliet would smile. "Let them. That girl needed to be heard. But she's not who I am anymore." The video was her legacy. The life after it was her reward. Juliet lived for likes and nearly lost her life. She built an empire on sand and watched it wash away. But in the ruins, she found something precious, herself. The internet is a mirror that can't love you back. It can praise you, hate you, forget you, but it cannot hold you when you cry. It cannot know your heart. The likes you chase are shadows. The followers you gain are strangers. But the person you see in the mirror without filters, that person is real. And that person deserves your love most of all. Never live a social media life while your real life passes by unwatched. Choose truth over performance. Choose peace over perfection. Choose being real over being admired. Because one day, the lights will go off, the camera will stop recording, and all you have left is yourself. Make sure you like who you find. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to hear more stories that matter. Share it with someone who needs this reminder. Until the next story, remember, be real, be kind, be you.